January 16, 1917. A German diplomat sits down to write what he thinks is a secret message. 25 words, that's all it took. 25 words that would drag a sleeping giant into the bloodiest war humanity had ever seen, and change the outcome forever. But here's the twist. The message wasn't meant for America. It was meant for Mexico, and by the time the British intercepted it, decoded it, and handed it to the Americans, Germany had just made the biggest diplomatic blunder in military history. This is the story of how a single telegram turned the tide of World War I. Picture this. It's early 1917. The Great War has been raging for nearly 3 years. Millions are dead. The trenches stretch from the English Channel to Switzerland, 400 miles of mud, blood, and barbed wire. Nobody's winning. The Germans are exhausted. The French are bleeding out. The British are losing an entire generation of young men. And across the Atlantic, America is sitting it out. President Woodrow Wilson had just won re-election on a simple promise. He kept us out of war. Americans wanted nothing to do with Europe's nightmare, but Germany had a problem. Britain was slowly starving them with a naval blockade. Germany's only weapon, submarines, U-boats, and their high command had just made a ruthless decision: unrestricted submarine warfare. Sink anything heading to Britain. Passenger ships, cargo vessels, neutral countries, even American ships. Germany knew this would enrage America. They knew it might pull the US into the war. So they came up with a backup plan. A plan so audacious, so wildly ambitious that if it worked, America would be too busy to help Europe. They would start a war on America's doorstep. Meet Arthur Zimmermann, Germany's foreign secretary. Balding, bespectacled, looks like your accountant, but this man just drafted one of history's most explosive documents. On January 16, 1917, Zimmermann composed a coded telegram to the German ambassador in Mexico. The message: unbelievable. We shall propose an alliance with Mexico on the following basis: make war together, make peace together, generous financial support, and Mexico will reconquer Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. Wait. Let that sink in. Germany was promising to help Mexico take back a third of the United States. Imagine modern-day Mexico invading Texas. That's what we're talking about. Oh, and one more thing in that telegram. Also, try to get Japan involved. Germany wanted a three-front war: Mexico from the south, Japan from the west, and Germany keeping Europe busy. If you're thinking this sounds insane, you're right. Mexico had just gone through a brutal revolution. Their military was in shambles. They had zero chance against the US Army. But Zimmermann didn't care about reality. He encrypted the message, sent it through diplomatic cables, and assumed it would stay secret. It didn't. 5,000 miles away, in a secret office in London, a team of codebreakers had been quietly working magic. Welcome to Room 40, Britain's most classified intelligence operation. These weren't soldiers. They were mathematicians, linguists, puzzle obsessives, and they had been reading Germany's mail for years. When Zimmermann's telegram came through, they intercepted it. But there was a problem. The message was encrypted using Germany's most complex code, Code 75. It took weeks, late nights, brilliant guesswork, and finally, they cracked it. When the British read what it said, they couldn't believe it. This was dynamite. This could bring America into the war, but they had another problem. If Britain just handed this to America and said, "Look what we found," Germany would know their codes were broken. They'd change everything. Britain would go blind. So British intelligence did something brilliant. They traced the telegram's route, found out Germany had also sent a copy through a less secure route via Mexico. They obtained that version through contacts in Mexico, made it look like that's how they got it. And on February 24, 1917, they handed it to the American ambassador. His reaction: I have never been so shocked in my life. March 1, 1917. The telegram hit American newspapers like a bomb. Coast to coast, Americans were reading the same unbelievable words. Germany wanted Mexico to invade Texas. The reaction? Instant rage. Even skeptics who thought it might be fake couldn't deny it when Germany did something stunning. Arthur Zimmermann admitted it was real. He actually held a press conference and said, "Yes, I sent that." Historians still argue about why he confessed. Maybe he thought honesty would help. Maybe he was trying to look tough. It backfired. Spectacularly, anti-German sentiment exploded overnight. German Americans faced harassment. Sauerkraut got renamed Liberty Cabbage. Yep, that actually happened. President Wilson, who'd spent years keeping America neutral, now faced impossible pressure. The Zimmermann telegram had done what 3 years of trench warfare couldn't. It made Americans want war. On April 2, 1917, Wilson asked Congress for a declaration of war. 4 days later, America joined World War I. Within months, American soldiers, dobies, were flooding into France. Fresh. Equipped, ready, Germany's gamble had backfired in the worst possible way. The Zimmermann telegram didn't keep America out of Europe. It guaranteed America would crush Germany. Would Germany have lost without America? Maybe, but the Zimmermann telegram made sure we'd never find out. One message, 25 words. It exposed a plot, enraged a nation, and shifted the balance of global power. And here's the final irony. Mexico never even considered the offer. They knew it was suicide. Germany threw away their chance at victory for an alliance that was never going to happen. So what's the lesson here? In war, in diplomacy, in life. Sometimes the smallest decisions have the biggest consequences. A single telegram, written in a moment of desperation, changed the fate of empires. It brought America onto the world stage as a superpower, where it's remained ever since. And it all started with a secret message that wasn't so secret after all. If you found this story as mind-blowing as I did, smash that like button. Subscribe for more untold war stories that changed history. And drop a comment. Do you think Germany could have won WWI if they'd never sent that telegram? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.